And I pray that there never be a time in my life when I shall be an ivory tower preacher, walking about with a waxy smile, being toadied to and admired, but forgetting that I was once a ragged farm kid, couldn't speak decent English. And there's the avoidance of sacrifice. When our churches are little, the women scrub them and the men paint the doors, and if they will put on a new room and fellas meet in the evening and build it, and everybody goes to work. We're too often men of means acquainted with gluttony. And he was a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. Know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? Know ye not, if any man love the world, the love of the Father isn't in him. We can be orthodox in our doctrine. We can keep our emphasis on Christ as being all in all, and still break down in our attitudes toward the world. I think we ought to watch it and pray reverently about it. And then lastly, our lack of spiritual desire. There's danger of lukewarmness in these last days. Some aren't any further along than you were a year ago. Now, some of you are not any further along than you were the last year. I've said before, and I repeat it now, that I believe that the intensity of our spiritual desire will break down any hindrances, will defeat every foe. The intensity of our spiritual desire will make self-sacrifice to be nothing at all. I'll tell you, I'd like to see some progress in this church. I'd like to see some individual spiritual progress among us. And we'll see it only when we break up our fallow ground. If somebody says what we need is to get more, what we need is to get rid of some things, what we need is to have the plow go up and down our parts until the hard ground has been softened and our hearts become tender. Cut away the tangle and plow deep. Keep on till he come and rain righteousness upon us. I rode in a car out from one of the churches where I was last week. A couple of men, one of them an usher here this morning, and one of them told me about his business taking him out after night. And he said sometimes it keeps me out until after midnight, and I'm downtown after midnight. And he said it's common to see 16 and 17-year-old girls on the street thumbing rides. Common in the city of Toronto. 16 or 17 years old. Young kids that should have been kissed goodnight and put to bed long ago. And the rapacious wolves that ride in their old cars up and down the streets are glad to take them in. And we're comfortable and satisfied. Our little flock is in, and everybody's happy. Pray that all this may grieve us and break us and hurt us. This is to me is the test of a church, whether its people when they meet enjoy the presence of the Lord. If they do not, then there's lots to be done yet. When the presence of the Lord is felt, worship is delightful and healing to the soul. And you come in and go out quite changed from what you were when you came in. You sense the presence of God in the midst.
I do not believe that most of our people come to church to meet God anymore. They come to hear a sermon about God. In Jude verse 20 where it says, praying in the Holy Ghost. There is no other way to pray. They don't expect to tiptoe out saying, God is in this place. You see, if you and I are going to get right to the heart of God, if God's going to whisper his secrets in my ears, and I don't think there's much else worth living for this. Everything's determined on this. Dig as deep as we can in this area of prayer. All earthly things. With earth will fade away, but prayer grasps to eternity. I know a little hard-working woman in Chicago who cried before me. She said, Brother Ravenhill, I'm not making advance in my Christian life, in my prayer life. I said, how much do you pray? She said, well, my mother's been very sick, you know, and I said, that's not the question. How much do you pray? How much do you pray? And reluctantly with tears, she said, that's my problem. I haven't moved in my prayer life in the last year and a half. Please tell me, I won't quote the name, how much do you pray? She said, I'm still only praying 5 hours a day. You'll have to change your calendar. You'll have to say goodbye to some friends. You'll have to revolutionize maybe your eating and your sleeping and your spending and your traveling. But in the light of eternity, as our brother said, what is it? Lord, teach us to pray.
There was never a cloud in God's blue sky. The earth was untouched by sin. Oh, the flowers, the streams, and God gave me Eve, and we walked hand in hand with him. Over by the stream was a large fruitful tree. I can tell you its taste was bittersweet. Now we had eaten freely the fruit of the land, but from this tree we were forbid to eat. Oh, never had I seen a fruit so ripe and full. Each day as we'd pass it by, oh, the serpent in the tree would call our names and smile and say, a taste would change your life. Just walk through the garden, just to walk through paradise, just to see all the beauty God had given to me and my wife. Now Eve was in the orchard, gathering our meal, and the serpent was waiting for her there. She tasted of the fruit and brought the fruit to me, and paradise ended right there. Now we're breaking our backs, tilling the soil just to grow enough food to live. But I can never forget the tears in God's eyes the day I traded